Hi everybody, I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all are having a great day today. So today I thought that we would talk about intuition. So intuition is the main way that I pretty much live my life now. So most people are living their life kind of living through the mind, living through their brain, thinking, using the mind a lot more to make decisions, to go with things. So for example, your mind and your brain will come up with thoughts, will come up with these different ideas and things like that. And so the mind will create thoughts around everything, stories around everything. And we can either use those thoughts and go on them, or we can ignore them, or, kind of go more into our heart, our body, and make decisions based on our intuition. So you may have heard like mother's intuition, female intuition, things like that. And so intuition appears to be a little higher for females, that they're a little bit more in tune with like their heart, and they have this mother's intuition. If something were to happen to their children, they kind of begin to feel something or know something. Same thing with female intuition. It's something that's kind of warning you that something's not right, that something's not right here. Don't go there. Don't do that. It's kind of like a warning system for you, sort of like emotions. So I've talked about emotions as being kind of a guiding symbol to you. And what I mean by that is that when you have an emotion, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. When emotions arise, they're warnings that something is whatever it happens to be. So if it happens to be anger, sadness, happiness, whatever it happens to be, you're going to feel that in an emotion. And the emotions doesn't just show up as an emotion that you just know in your brain, in your head, that, oh, that's anger, I'm angry. No, it also shows up in your body. Your shoulders can get tense. Your jaw can get tense. You can get, your face will change. You can get, your fist will clench up. Your body will become more constricted. So that is what happens with emotions. But the same sort of thing happens with intuition. So it's very similar to emotions. So intuition, you will literally feel your body. So you may want to do a body scan. And so what is a body scan? A body scan is just scanning your body from, your head down and just kind of feeling your body. What does it feel like? Do you have a headache? So if I'm starting at my head, do I have a headache? Is my neck tense? Is my jaw tense? Are my eyes, sometimes like the eyes go like that. Are the eyes tense? Do you need to relax? Okay. But at the same time, when you're body scanning, you don't just want to relieve whatever it is that you have, whatever muscle tension you have. You also want to pay attention to that and see what's happening in your environment. So if you are having, headaches, if you're having muscles where they're very constricted and tight, and you're noticing an emotion behind that, or whatever it happens to be, if it's just body, if it's just muscle type things, it's still a sign to you. So even if there's no emotion behind it, if you're having signals in your body that something isn't right, you're going to want to look at your environment on the outside. What's happening? Who is around you? Sometimes certain people can make you feel like something's not right. Sometimes just the environment itself is not right. So different people have different sort of energies, have different sort of ways of being. And that's also very conditioned to them. So it's not because, anything, it's not right or wrong the way that they're showing up, but their energy may not go with yours. So if you're a very happy, vivacious person and you have somebody coming in that's, very negative, complaining, draining, sometimes you hear people call these people energy vampires and things like that, where they kind of drain your energy. And it's very true. And I know this for a fact because it's happened to me. So I've never really paid a whole lot of attention to this till after my awakening. So I have been working in social work and counseling, and I've also worked in schools. So I've worked a lot with children, adults, and people with mental health issues. Okay. And when I say mental health issues, anywhere from just behavioral issues to, your very serious mental health issues. And I've worked with people on drugs, just everything. And so all of these people, a lot of them will have a very low energy. And this I noticed after my awakening. Before, I would get very tired at work, and things would happen where I would need to recharge. And it wasn't just me, all counselors, all people that work, in the helping professions, they need to take time to recharge. They need to do a lot of self-care in order to do those type of jobs, because they're very draining of your energy. So when you're working with your mind a lot, so if you're doing a lot of counseling and things like that, and so you're not using your body, you're not out there like doing construction work or something like that, you're using a lot of your mind power, then that's actually more draining than using your physical body. So everything that you can't see is actually more powerful than what you can see. So we have the physical world that we can see, and there's things here. But there is this whole metaphysical world that's happening, and it's all happening at once. But the metaphysical world that we can't see is actually so much more powerful in the energies and things behind it than our physical world that we're currently in here. So same thing for anything, just in general. It could be like a law, it could be a certain law of our universe that just whatever is seen is not exactly, what's not seen is way more powerful, potent, energetic, than what is seen. Okay, so you want to actually work more in the metaphysical than in the physical when you're trying to solve issues. But anyhow, when you're in the mind, in the brain, so that's taking up way more energy. It takes a lot more time to recuperate than if you were to do construction work. And so that's already been, looked into. That's already been researched. And so same sort of thing happens, just in general when we're working, on manifestation, things like that. If we work in the metaphysical world and what we can't see, we will see results a lot quicker. But anyhow, we can't see how these people are coming in, what energies they have, what's happening. But working with the sort of people that I've worked with prior to this, I was getting very tired, and I just attributed it to self-care I needed to do. That's part of the job, is taking care of yourself. So I would do that. But after my shift, after having my non-dual realization, I noticed something completely different. So after you have a non-dual realization, everything's kind of cleared up for you. So you just see things like as they are. You don't have the filter of thoughts, of emotions, of all this. You use those as tools, but you're working with your heart. So your intuition is here in your heart, in your body. And so you're not exactly working with the mind anymore. That's the shift, okay? So after my non-dual realization, prior to my non-dual realization, I thought, oh, I just need to do some self-care, take care of myself. Well, partly that is still true. But so after my non-dual realization, I realized something about the people and about the self-care as well. But the people themselves that were coming in for these services, a lot of them, especially the ones that were suffering with very serious mental illness, which is what I was working with after my awakening more recently. Those people have like an energy that's very dense, very heavy, and very dark. And it also feeds, it takes from you. And so one thing that I noticed working after my non-dual awakening in counseling is that I began to have basically like clients that became obsessed. So prior to this, I had clients that, were very happy with their services, that were coming in, making changes, things like that. After my awakening, I've already had to make 3 incident reports of people that became obsessed, with me, with counseling and seeing me. And what I noticed was it wasn't that they were obsessed with getting help, with being, counseled or any of that. What these people, when they would come in, first of all, I would feel uncomfortable when they came in, and that usually didn't happen before. I didn't ever really get an uncomfortable feeling like this. Now, when certain people come in, I literally get like an intuitive, like, no, this is going to be a no for me. I do not want this near my body. So when certain people come in now, I can sense their energy like instantly. And sometimes if I can't find them another counselor or something like that, because I am the only one that works at that level, I began to get sick to my stomach. headaches, drained, like tired, tired, tired. I've actually never experienced this before until more recently, but my body begins to like tingle. Have y'all ever had where your legs falling asleep, or maybe another part of your body, your arm? Well, it feels like that, but literally throughout the whole body. So it almost feels like you're not there. You're just kind of tingly. And so it's pretty scary, you know? And so I went to the doctor and I had all my blood work done and everything, because, you know, I had so many health issues of thyroid, blood pressure, so many things. And I got a clean bill of health. My blood work was perfect. There was nothing wrong at all. And I'm off all medications. You know, prior I was taking like, I don't know, 7 medications at one time just to, you know, function. So I had a clean bill of health, yet I was so drained. So with my intuition, I've been doing different things, kind of listening to it at home as well, not just at work. And when you listen to your intuition begins to tell you things. And sometimes they're strange things, okay? For one, when I would come home from work, I would get now an urge to take a shower. So, and that wasn't something that I was doing previously, because my job isn't like really dirty or anything. I can wait till like the evening or even in the mornings to take showers. And so I had this intuitive thing that I needed to come home and take showers every day I came back from work. And so I did that, and I felt like a little better, and a little better. So the showers worked. So the showers, what they're doing is they're taking away all the energies that you've had for that day, anything that's attached. Now, certain things can still stay, because I was still experiencing things even after that, and I'll share a little bit more on that. But that was one thing that happened kind of intuitively to me. The other thing was literally like at work, I will not see these people, because I will get so sick from even just being in the room with them. So I cannot see certain people anymore. Literally, I get sick, and that's never happened before. So I don't know how dark and, you know, what kind of energies these are. I'd like to explore it a little bit more, but I haven't paid a whole lot more attention to it. I do know that these individuals were suffering from serious mental illness, like schizophrenia, psychosis, and bipolar, and just all of the serious mental illness is what I deal with. But primarily the ones that I was having issues with, I'm trying to think, what did they have? So these individuals were using drugs as well. So they were using drugs to self-medicate their mental illness. And so, you know, that may have played a part in that. But anyhow, these are the individuals I'm speaking about that I had to report. Now, I've set some boundaries there where I don't see certain individuals that literally make me feel sick. You know, I do that discreetly and respectfully and find them somebody else. Now, for me personally, it's becoming like very, almost kind of like not healthy for me to be around certain environments like that. So you do have to see your environment around you and what's happening there. Is there something there that's not serving you? Is it your workplace? Is there some kind of drain there? Is there, you know, your coworkers? Is something there draining you? You know, so you want to use your intuition everywhere you go. When you're at the store, when you're with your family, when you're at work, when you're with your children, when you're with your husband, because it'll start to tell you about how you're feeling. It's sort of like an emotion. It's a feeling you get, but you get it more in your body, and you get it in your heart, and sometimes you get it in your mind to where you can almost know there's danger there. Don't do that. Stop. You know, and sometimes it could even be like a voice, maybe not a very auditory voice, but it's like maybe like telepathy, like you can kind of just know. So the way that you develop that is every time you have to make a decision, or every time you feel uncomfortable or something, you kind of pause. You pause. You're having all these thoughts. Stop the thoughts, pause them, or, you know, say hi to them and just watch them go. And when you have a little moment of silence there, when the thoughts have kind of subsided, or you're not paying so much attention to the thoughts, so they're just maybe still there, but they're back here, you're going to want to kind of like take a deep breath. Okay. So you take a deep breath, like a good deep breath, and just hold your heart, or just feel that you know, imagine that you're feeling into your heart and see what comes up. What comes up usually for me is like I'll feel like a little bit uncomfortable or some kind of feeling in my body, and then I know, okay, yeah, you're trying to tell me something. My heart's trying to talk to me. So then I listen, and what happens next is usually like a thought, and the thought is usually what I need to do next. So it comes very quickly. So it literally is like asking God for an answer, really. Some people do that when they have like a hard time or something like that. They might stop and they ask God, show me a sign or show me what to do next. And the next step is given. So it's the same exact sort of thing. And you can call it God, you can call it universe, you can do whatever. You can speak to it, you can speak to yourself, you cannot say anything. You could just do whatever you want. Your body will tell you. That's how intuition works. It literally just does it for you. So, but it is coming from your heart. So if you're just like ruminating on a thought over and over and over again, that's not intuition. You're trying to use your brain. And that's another place where you can lose a lot of energy. So one of the ways that, you can lose a lot of energy where you're feeling drained is from having thoughts, recurring thoughts that happen over and over again. So usually this is when you're upset about something. So if somebody upsets you or something has happened where you didn't actually get to resolve it or say something about it, usually the thought will recur on what you should do. And it's kind of waiting for you to make a decision or to like dismiss that thought. So if you don't do that, it just keeps coming back. And as you notice with that thought, every time that thought keeps coming back, especially if it was a situation where you were hurt, you feel hurt every time. So you're not just living that hurt once, you're like reliving the hurt over and over and over again. And as you're doing that, you're draining energy from yourself. It's just naturally happening. I'm not going to say you're doing it. It sounds like I'm saying that, but it's just happening. Okay, it's just happening. But what you can do to change that is to start going more into your intuition. Okay, so when you're noticing you're having this ruminating or recurring thought, and it's draining you and you're feeling hurt, go into your emotion, find out what that hurt is and see if you have to work on anything there. And if not, your intuition will tell you what to do next. It may just be like, okay, tell that thought to go away, you're done, or call up that person and talk to them and let them know how you feel. So your answer of what comes next will just naturally develop, unfold for you. So that's intuition for you. And one of the reasons I want to talk about intuition today rather than some other topic was because intuition is very important in living a good, healthy, successful life. Because intuition itself sometimes will start to tell you the things that you need to do, just even health-wise. So for example, I mentioned the bath or the showers of coming home and taking a shower. That naturally happened for me. The other things that have happened for me are like a ton of things, but some of them are so small, it's ridiculous. I'm going to also make a video about intuitive eating, and I've made one in the past. You can go back and see if you can find that one. If I can, I will link it in the description box for you, so check there first. And so intuitive eating is just something that has naturally happened to me. So before I used to meal plan, have, what I was going to make, go to the grocery store and buy those items and make that. Well, now I don't. Now I just kind of wake up and throughout the day, I see intuitively, what do I want to eat? And where before I was eating like just your normal traditional like American meals, now, mashed potatoes, green beans, meat, all that stuff, just your typical American food. Now, my intuitive eating has led me to eat like mostly all natural, like just fresh food. So fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. I can't, like, as much as I want to have like a piece of candy or like chips or anything that I used to like have as a snack or like a treat, my body won't let me. Like I start to get sick and I can't even think about eating it, but then like I get sick. So I can't hardly eat that food, just intuitively I can't. So then the next thing was like things about taking care of my body and things like that. Well, now I'm wanting to walk around more, exercise, do more. Like my energy has gone up in certain areas. So that's usually in the mornings is when I have more energy like that. And so that intuitively happens to me that I want to go outside and walk. Other thing that intuitively happens to me is I want to go outside and get sun. None of these things used to occur in my mind prior to this. So this is all happening from just working intuitively. And all of this has benefited like my health, a lot of things. So while I can't eat certain foods that, start to make me sick, I just stay away from them altogether. So now altogether, I'm healthier. So I'm not feeling like sick every time because I'm not trying to eat those foods every time. I've just completely shifted to another way of being. Little subtle things about taking care of oneself, like putting certain kind of lotions on, using certain kind of materials and certain kinds of items and things have just started to happen for me where intuitively I gravitate more to that for whatever reason, and for whatever reason it benefits me more. So I'm taking note of all of those things to kind of share them with you, because some of them are like, more girly, female related things, and some people may not want to watch that. So I will make very specific videos about that, because there's been things that have changed with my self-care routine and stuff like that. Like I mentioned with the lotions, and there's things about like using brushes and things that have happened. And I think all of these things have just happened naturally, intuitively, to kind of help raise my energy for when it's being like lowered and drained by certain individuals. So intuitively, I would also like you to just be aware of other individuals, how they're showing up to you, because I didn't realize this before, but there is a lot of unhealthy individuals, and you have to really take extra care of yourself when you're interacting with these people, because they will take a lot from you. So in my experience over the last 2 months, I've had to literally report 3 people that have really crossed the line completely in my counseling practice. And this is not on YouTube or like any one-on-ones. This is something completely different, and that's already, been handled. But what's happened is that there's certain individuals that are, very much in that dense energy. And when they are seeing that you have like maybe a higher energy and maybe a little bit of overflow there, they're wanting to take. And I don't know how far this goes, if this is maybe anything, more than that, but to me it seems like they're wanting to take the overflow of what you have, and sometimes they like it so much they want more and more. So they come back, they schedule more counseling sessions, they try to touch you, they try to lock eyes. So they'll try to do a lot of things to take the energy. So where a lot of counseling patients will like maybe look at you in the eye, but they'll look down, they'll lose eye contact here and there, they won't try to touch you, none of that. These kind of patients or people that have locked into your energy, they will look at you in your eye, they will try to touch you. This is my experience of what's happened. They'll try to touch you, they will try to always have like a connection, like a cord with you, texting you, calling you, the office, all of that, trying to keep in connection with you. I had one guy find out what kind of car I had, and he would look for me. They will try to like get your attention and find you in different spots, which is kind of scary, so I had to report those individuals because they were not able to control themselves. But that is what's been happening. So one of the things you have to do when you're starting to have these higher like energy happening with you is be aware of that, protect that, because that's very important. One of the things that I want to talk about also with manifesting is staying in a happy zone, because when you're happy, when you're like, really happy that you're going to have this thing, or that you have this thing, because really you should be acting like you already have it. When you are in that state, you're happy, your vibration is up, you're energetic, and so everything is more attracted to you, because that is the way the world works. When you are at that level, when you're vibrating like that in that frequency, everything becomes attracted to you. So that's what I've kind of been noticing, is like all of this stuff like coming towards me, and sometimes it's not great. For example, my daughter is terrified of birds, and we're working on that. She's been scared of birds for a long time now, but lately, and I don't know, y'all can share with me if y'all have had any experiences similar to this, because it's literally just been happening all the time. I'll be driving and birds will literally hit our windshield and die. We've had squirrels hit us and die. And so my daughter's scared of birds, and these birds are just trying to hit us. And it's crazy. And so when I'm outside too, when I've like filming videos or whatever I'm doing outside, the other day, you know, animals will start coming to me. Like literally deer were coming to me, you know, and I was like, what is going on? Is this a fairy tale? Because literally deer were stopping and coming to me while I was like outside putting out a box for UPS. And so I just, you know, and we don't have that here. We have deer, but they don't come up to you like that. So I've been having these kind of like experiences where things are like coming to me. Maybe that's the magnetism of really being in this state of manifesting, of giving and receiving instead of, you know, taking and keeping. So maybe it's that kind of different energy, but at the same time, it's a little bit dark in the way that I say. I've had people that have kind of crossed lines with me, and then these animals that are literally kind of like terrifying us and like, you know, hurting themselves and all this. So, you know, you have to be kind of careful about this as well. Just being aware of what happens when your energy is that high and how to protect yourself from that. So how do you protect yourself from that? Will happen intuitively. I've had lots of things come up for me. Like I mentioned, the showers, like I mentioned, you know, using lotions, different things. Other things that I've noticed is that wearing clothing that's more covered up, because anywhere people are seeing like your true self, your skin, your face, like even this I would cover up for work, because the person that's trying to take that energy, like that individual, those individuals I had to report, they literally like, they want to see you. Like they're trying to look at you in your eye. They're trying to look at your skin. They're like trying to see you. So if you put on like a shawl or you wear more covered up modest clothing, they can't take that energy. If you just kind of glaze at them, you know, glance at them instead of like looking at them in their eyes, then they can't take that kind of energy at you. When you give them that one-on-one direct eye contact, they actually begin to take energy. So you have to be careful with who you're allowing in those very, you know, personal direct spaces to your energy. So the other thing that, you know, you can do if you're female is to wear makeup, to maybe, like I say, wear a shawl. You know, a lot of religious cultures, you know, there's women that wear shawls over their head, you know, on their backs, on their shoulders. All of that is like a sign of protection for you. And it is not just a sign, it literally protects you from anybody taking from you. So if you're like walking around at the store and like you notice like a man or something like is locking eyes with you, they're trying to make a connection. They're trying to take energy, and literally you can see the energy kind of going towards that direction. And so that's how that works. And once they have it, they have it, unless they're going to reciprocate. Unless, like, say it's a romantic thing and like you locked eyes and they're going to ask you out to lunch, then that's the give and take. So they've taken your energy when you locked eyes, but now they're giving it back because they're going to take you out, or they've given you a compliment, or whatever it happens to be. But the type of individuals that are very dark, they will generally just take energy, and just that's what they do. They need that energy, so they will take it. That's neither right nor wrong. It's just something that's happening, but it's something to be aware of if you are experiencing that you're very tired and drained. So so I mentioned the shawls. The other thing that you can do is wear makeup, because when you wear makeup, they cannot see, you know, your bare skin. You know, when you want to show your bare skin, let's say to your husband, your children, people that you know, like that you're very comfortable with, they're getting to see and have a certain level of energy that's very pure, very direct about you. But when you have the makeup on, they cannot have all of that. So so that's just something else to consider. Other things to do, you know, you see a lot of people that, you know, are spiritual leaders and stuff. They wear a lot of jewelry, a lot of colorful, or, you know, nice, you know, colored robes and things like that. Now that's kind of deflecting from their pure skin, their energy. So you're kind of looking at everything around them And so that kind of protects their energy, because until you can actually look at them in your eyes, you've actually looked all over their body. You've looked at their necklace, you've looked at their robe, you looked at their, let's say they were wearing a crown or something. So you've looked everywhere, and then you look at their eyes. So you haven't been able to like draw that much energy from them. So that's one of the ways that they kind of protect themselves from that sort of thing, because you can literally take energy from people without even interacting with them, just by looking at them in their eyes, or having your attention on them. So it's something to be careful about. So intuition is a tool for you, just like emotions are, just like thoughts are. Now, so we have intuition. And so one of the reasons that I talk about intuition today rather than a different topic is because I had put a poll out on my YouTube community tab asking if y'all would be interested in vlogging content. And the reason that I ask about that is because a lot of people seem to want to be curious about what, living in an intuitive state is like. And it's very much like living any other life. But I'd have to kind of point out to you how it's intuitive, because literally things will happen and I will feel like, oh, I need to do this next. And sometimes it's a very odd thing. Sometimes it makes no sense, but I still do it and then it makes sense. So it's very interesting to learn this way and to live this way. So I was going to make videos like that. I've made one and it was just a very short preview, but I hope to do more videos where you can see daily life, maybe even some interactions, maybe even like some activities and things that I do, and kind of share those with you along the way. And so that was originally my original intention in this channel. If you go back and watch my very first video, welcome to my channel, that is really what I had in mind. But as things progressed, I began to have different insights and sharings and things like that. So I will definitely continue to do that, because I continue to have like random just insights and visions, and living intuitively, a lot of things are learned that I didn't know before. So I'm going to continue to make like videos on my YouTube channel here. I am thinking about creating my vlogging videos on a separate channel, just because that will be all relating to vlogging. So that may be how I do it. So please stay tuned for that. I will be posting that in my community tab, and I will also be sharing it on my videos if I do create the other channel, which I am in the works of doing. It's just I need to have a little bit more content for that. If there's anything that you specifically would like to see in the vlogging content, please comment down below and let me know what you want to see. I have been doing blogging in the past, and so I'm very familiar with doing stuff like that, and I very much like it and enjoy it. So I will do that for you and see how that goes, while still making some videos on this channel regularly. I am hoping to do some more on this channel with my energy kind of being drained in the workplace that I work and things happening there. My focus is going to be more on this channel, because this channel is very uplifting. This channel is very loving. This channel is a very it's hard to find people that are like-minded. It's hard to find people that are resonating with this, although a lot more people are resonating with this now, I notice. But it hasn't been my experience that, working, or even friends, or even people like in the community even understand any of this, or, especially where I live in a very small town in Texas. Everybody here is a Christian, and they believe very strongly certain things. Like, they believe that the only way to God is through Jesus. And while I am a follower of Jesus, I have seen and experienced a direct experience that is a bit different than some people. So then for that reason, I don't exactly fit in the way of, okay, I can just, go to church and do a talk there, or I could, share with people at work and maybe do a presentation about this. It's just not that accepted here where I live. So this channel is really just completely a blessing, and I'm so grateful that YouTube exists and that it is possible to do something like this and connect with people literally all around the world. Because in Texas there might not be that much people that are interested in this kind of content or have these experiences or resonate with this material. But around the world, there's going to be more. So it is so extraordinary the time that we're living in right now, and the experiences of connection that we're beginning to have, and how we're beginning to become one in so many ways. Even though we're all over the world, we come together here on this channel and in so many other places right now as one, and share insights and information that is so valuable to our lives. So I will continue to make content on here. Let me know again if you have any suggestions for the vlogging channel. So just to kind of wrap things up, intuition is just the way that I kind of decided to live my life now. I lived my life, using my brain and my mind for most of my life for now. So it's time to kind of switch it up. And I'm really seeing the benefits of living, intuitively through your heart. It's much healthier. It's much lighter. It's just altogether the best guiding principle for oneself. Otherwise, you're working in the brain, in the mind. It's very unhealthy, and you can kind of see that reflected in our culture. You see a lot of people that are overweight. You see a lot of people that are suffering from mental illness. They're taking, medications and things for their mental health issues, and they're not happy. There's all these violence and just things happening. So there is a need to kind of change from, not so much from doing things in our brain, from doing things more in our heart. And that could really serve us. So I want to kind of model that for you through these vlogging videos, and I hope that you enjoy them, and I hope that you check back and all that. So if you're new here and you like this channel, please think about subscribing. If you like this video, please give it a like. That helps me kind of get it out there, and I really want to grow this channel and really be able to give a lot more to this channel. So I hope that y'all would do that for me, and comment down below. Thank you so much, and I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.